Garrett Mitchell, better known to millions of fans worldwide as Cletus McFarland, was told by NASCAR that he could not race at one of the most storied tracks in American motorsport. Most people in that situation would quietly accept the decision, head home, and watch the weekend unfold on television. Cletus McFarland is not most people. He announced publicly that he is showing up at Talladega Superspeedway anyway, and not only is he showing up, he is bringing his best friend with him. For the very first time, these two YouTube personalities turned real racing competitors will get to draft together on a full superspeedway, at a track where drafting is not just a tactic but the entire foundation of how races are won and lost. This 2026 Talladega weekend is shaping up to be one of the most story-rich, most unpredictable, and most chaotic weekends of the entire NASCAR season. There is a YouTube star defying institutional expectations, a Cup driver closing in on his 500th career start, a controversial internet personality making his Cup Series debut, and the hottest driver in all of motorsport right now trying to sustain one of the most historic starts to a season the sport has seen in decades. Every single storyline on this weekend's card is worth your full attention. Cletus McFarland, whose legal name is Garrett Mitchell, built his reputation online before he ever climbed into a competitive stock car. He owns the Freedom Factory racetrack in Bradenton, Florida, which immediately separates him from the category of internet personalities who simply buy their way into a race car for clout. His actual racing resume backs that up. In 2025, he made 4 ARCA starts and scored 2 top 10 finishes, including a 10th place result at Talladega and a career-best 9th place finish at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Those are not participation numbers, those are legitimate competitive results against a field that includes serious developmental talent. He returned to competition in 2026 with Rhett Jones racing on a partial ARCA schedule, and when Talladega came around on the calendar, there was genuine expectation building that he might also attempt his second start in the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series at the same track on the same weekend. That did not happen. NASCAR reviewed his entry and denied it. The sanctioning body's reasoning was straightforward: they want Mitchell to build more on-track experience at short tracks before they clear him for high-speed superspeedway competition in that series. They also cited the importance of him continuing to accumulate miles in both the ARCA Menards Series and the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series before taking the next step up. Cletus responded publicly with a video to his fanbase, addressing the decision directly. His exact words were, "It is what it is." He confirmed that additional Truck Series races are already locked in on his schedule and that his next O'Reilly Auto Parts Series start will come at Nashville the following month. One door closed, and he immediately identified another one. That is the core of why this story has resonated so widely. The response was measured, direct, and forward-looking rather than reactionary. The element of this weekend that transforms it from interesting to genuinely compelling is what Cletus is actually doing at Talladega. He will be behind the wheel of the number 30 BaldEagle.com Ford for Rhett Jones racing in Saturday's ARCA Menards Series race, the Alabama-manufactured Housing 200, scheduled to go green at 12:30 p.m. Eastern on FS1. This will be his third ARCA start of the 2026 season. His best friend George Siciliano, known online as LS George or Squirrel McNutt, is also entered in the same race, running the number 0 Heatwave Visuals Ford. These two have now raced together for 3 consecutive weekends, but Talladega represents something categorically different from everything that came before it. A superspeedway demands a level of cooperation, communication, and trust between teammates and partners that shorter tracks simply do not. Drafting with someone you genuinely trust, having that person pushing you from behind, working together to generate momentum, avoiding getting absorbed into an unpredictable large pack, can realistically move a car from midfield into a legitimate podium conversation. There is also a deeply emotional dimension to George's entry this weekend. He and Cletus made a promise to their late friend and NASCAR Cup Series legend Greg Biffle, that George would do whatever it took to race at Talladega. Showing up to the grid on Saturday means that promise is fulfilled. At Kansas the previous weekend, the results were mixed. Cletus finished 20th after losing an oil line and experiencing a frightening slide through turns 1 and 2. George, racing for just the first time on a track longer than a mile, crossed the line 12th. Both drivers will carry the lessons from that race into Saturday's effort, and the hope is for a significantly cleaner run in front of a massive Talladega crowd. Beyond the Cletus and LS George storyline, the Alabama-manufactured Housing 200 is producing the largest ARCA field at Talladega since 2012, with 41 teams entered. The top 36 in owner points are automatically locked into the race, with Joe Gibbs Racing's number 18 starting on the pole by virtue of leading the owner standings. The final 4 spots are determined by the fastest times in Friday's last practice session. Gio Ruggiero, driving the number 18 Toyota, enters Talladega as the clear driver to beat. He has won back-to-back ARCA races, at Daytona and Kansas, and is chasing a third consecutive victory. Jack Wood is looking to rebound after leading 39 laps at Kansas before being caught up in a late race crash. Bobby Eberle is also in contention after a ninth-place finish at Daytona. Nitro Motorsports is bringing a five-car effort with Jake Finch, Gus Dean, Jake Bowman, Isabella Robusto, and Thomas Annunziata, representing one of the most significant single-organization deployments of the season. The history of this track in the ARCA context makes Saturday's race even more compelling. Talladega has not produced a repeat ARCA winner in 19 consecutive races. The last driver to win there more than once was 10-time series champion Frank Kimmel, with victories in 2006 and 2013. The track also produced the closest finish in ARCA series history when Zane Smith edged Joe Graff Jr. by a margin of 0 recorded seconds in 2018. Later on Saturday at 4 p.m. Eastern on the CW, the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series runs the AG Pro 300. This is the race Cletus was denied entry into, which gives it an added layer of significance. Unlike Sunday's Cup race, the O'Reilly field has 38 cars entered for 38 available spots, meaning every team that submitted an entry will compete. Notable names include Garrett Smithley, Carson Kvapil running for JR Motorsports, and J.J. Yeley. This race will give a clear picture of how the Superspeedway racing package plays out in that series, and it provides useful context ahead of Sunday's main event. Sunday's Jacklinks 500 goes green at 3 p.m. Eastern on Fox, 188 laps, 500 miles, and the level of unpredictability that has made Talladega one of the defining events on the NASCAR calendar for decades. 41 cars are entered for 40 spots, meaning one team will not make the race. All 36 full-time chartered drivers are locked in automatically, which means the pressure is entirely on 5 open cars competing for the remaining 4 positions. Those 5 entries are Jesse Love in the number 33 Richard Childress Racing Chevrolet, Joey Gase in the number 44, Casey Mears in the number 62 Beard Motorsports Chevrolet, Chad Fincham in the number 66 Garage 66 Ford, and Daniel Dye in the number 78 LiveFast Motorsports Chevrolet. Casey Mears is set to make his 500th career Cup Series start at Talladega, a milestone that carries genuine weight in the sport. If qualifying is washed out by rain, the backup rule would send Mears home as the car missing the race, which would erase that milestone entirely. Cup qualifying is scheduled for 10:30 a.m. Eastern Saturday on Amazon Prime. Daniel Dye's situation is one of the more complicated subplots of the weekend. He made comments on a live stream that resulted in losing his ride with a Cup organization. LiveFast Motorsports is giving him a second opportunity, and his ability to earn the starting spot through Saturday's qualifying session will be closely watched. No preview of this weekend is complete without a full accounting of what Tyler Reddick has done in 2026. He enters Talladega with 5 wins in 9 races, the fastest pace to 5 wins to open a Cup season since Dale Earnhardt in 1987. He won at Kansas the previous week by hunting down Kyle Larson on the final lap in overtime. His average finish at Superspeedways in 2025 was the best of any driver in the series. He is entering Talladega as the clear statistical favorite, and he is also kicking off a new multi-race deal with Rockstar Energy Drink this weekend. Austin Cindric is the defending race winner at Talladega. Chase Elliott has produced 1 win and 4 top 10 finishes in 8 Talladega starts in the current car generation. On the other end of the performance spectrum, Joey Logano has 0 top 10 finishes in 8 starts at Talladega in this car, with an average finishing position of 27.5. Josh Berry holds the worst average finish among chartered drivers at 28.7. Goodyear is bringing the same tire compound used at Daytona to open the season, which means the racing will be fast, tight, and capable of turning on a moment's notice. Here is the full picture of what this weekend demands your attention. Saturday morning, watch Cup qualifying to find out which team goes home and whether Casey Mears earns his historic 500th start or gets displaced by a weather clause. Saturday afternoon, watch Cletus and LS George attempt to draft together for the first time on a genuine superspeedway while Gio Ruggiero chases a third straight ARCA win in a 41-car field that has history written all over it. Saturday evening, the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series takes the same track and gives you the first real superspeedway look at that field this season. And Sunday, Tyler Reddick either continues one of the most statistically remarkable starts to a Cup season in nearly 4 decades, or Talladega does what it has always done, produce a winner that no prediction model or expert panel saw coming. This sport moves fast, and the stories worth following do not wait. If you want to stay on top of every angle of this weekend and every major NASCAR story that follows it, Hit that subscribe button right now and turn on notifications so you never miss a breakdown. If this video gave you something worth knowing, leave a like. It genuinely pushes this content to more people who want exactly this kind of coverage. We will see you at Talladega.